So hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some F1 2019 game news. Today we're going to be catching up on what's been going on in the past week. If you're not a follower of my channel and you're just here for the game news, then you won't know that I've been a little bit busy with finishing off a couple of my series for the release of F1 2019, which is why this is a day later than it should be, but it does mean that I've been able to gather more than I would have done if I'd been rushing into a video on the back of what had been released yesterday. So yes, we'll start with the log that was released alongside with the TV trailer that you would have seen at the start of the video, with not the music that they're using because of copyright. You can get the details about the music that I'm using in the description below. So yes, let's start with the 3 R's blog: respect, reputation, and rivalry. And we'll start with this. It's time to talk about the 3 R's of F1 2019: respect, reputation, and rivalry, by delving into career mode and the F2 feeder series. Career mode. Let's start off with F1 2019 career mode, shall we? F1 2019's career mode has a number of changes, not at least the all-new F2 feeder series. The feeder series is your route into F1. You'll start by selecting F2, after which you'll be taken through a series of scenarios which will create the stand-up moments of your F2 season prior to your entry into Formula 1. You can see here now on screen we have the menu, the team select for each of the F2 teams. You've got Carling, ART, Dams, Russian Time, Prema. Bear in mind these are the 2018 teams. So I think Russian Time pulled out of Formula 2, if I remember, at the end of 2018. So that's the only time we're ever going to get to play on Russian Time. Team is through this. So yes, all teams are there. Charouz, obviously they're now partnered with Sauber, Charouz, forming their part. Prema, Campos, MP Motorsport, BWT Arden. Didn't they pull out as well? Let's just go and have a quick look. I know BWT Arden didn't pull out, but Uni Vattusi Racing is the team that needed to be added. So yes, and of course Carling, of course, are based in Farnham, which is in Hampshire. Not the wrong end of Hampshire. Well, the northern end of Hampshire. So yes, there's lots of teams there that you can choose from. I'm not sure if it really matters which one you pick, because I think it all goes down to the driver academy that you select, and obviously, of course, you have the option to skip the feeder series down there at the bottom, although it is only 3 rounds, so you probably be a bit more cinematic if you were to do the feeder series. So yes, moving on. Each scenario has an effect upon which follows later. Your overall performance will earn you respect, which you have an impact on the contracts you're offered by the F1 teams at the start of the following F1 season. It's not just respect though. Your contract offers will be influenced by reputation, by picking driver academy at the start of the game. You also teams which you earn bonus reputation with over the feeder series. This is an interesting bit because they've introduced a little bit of respect alongside the reputation. So obviously, if you remember back to F1 2018, we had the reputation, which you could potentially, which was a little bit flawed because you could be what was it? It was a big what was it? It was rookie to experienced or whatever it was, and you could literally be in the experienced side of the thing within one season, even though it's your first season. And obviously reputation So maybe they're doing something similar like that, obviously adjusting to make it a little bit harder to get to the other side. Obviously Respect as well is being introduced, so I'll have to wait to see how that works. The next screenshot obviously sees Select a Driver Academy. For example, we've got Red Bull. Now, if we go and have a look at Wikipedia, there'll be a list of driver academies, and I think it goes like Ferrari, Renault, Mercedes, and I think Force India have got one as well, but I don't think Force India will be included because I think one of the examples was that Force India would be Mercedes. They're not called Force India anymore, they're called Racing Point, but you know what I mean. I think they've got their own driver academy, but I don't think they'll feature in the game. So I think you'll see Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari and Renault. I think they'll be the four. I haven't got anything to confirm that, so there may be more, there may be less. So yes, the scenarios have more than one outcome. For example, did you choose to let your faster teammate pass or not? Your choices are key here. That's not all. The feeder series also give you a number of cutscenes that allow you choices to play out your interactions with the game's new characters. Lucas and Devon, which we heard the names of earlier. Lucas Weber, is it Weber or Weber or whatever? And who is our teammate, and Devon Butler, your closest rival. Here's the thing: the choices you make are remembered in the game and continue to inform the kind of questions that asked by the press, not during the feeder series but throughout your career in F1. The range of questions the press can ask have expanded beyond those in F1 2018. And it's not just the reporters, the commentators will also remember the events, the feeder series, and refer to them when discussing you and your F2 rivals. So that's a little bit interesting, the fact that I hope that this isn't going to be laggy and some of the stuff we do in F1 races get reflected as well in the commentary, but I doubt that, and I think hopefully it doesn't. What I think will happen is that you'll be in Series 5 and you'll still get referred back to your F2 season. So yes, of course these relationships aren't just one way either. Lucas and Devon also answer questions from the press, and you'll regularly see transcripts of their interviews so you can see what they're saying about you or about the other official drivers on the grid, who, like you, Lucas and Devon can form rivalries on their own. I'm not sure if Lucas is going to be your teammate in the F1 series, or whether it's just going to be the junior category that he is your teammate for, and then you get to choose your teammate still for the F1 series. I'll have to wait and see whether or not Lucas is at another team, but still is on your side. Because we've got I'm going to bring you to this screenshot. This screenshot, I know it's a little bit of poor quality. It's a screenshot from the trailer. It's literally the only new thing from the trailer, and this is a screenshot of Lucas and Devon. So this is the first time we've seen both of them. I haven't seen any of the screenshots themselves. The animations, the cutscenes that are being used, but I believe it can get a little bit feisty between the two. So yes, apparently the acting is they've chosen some good actors. I haven't seen it myself. Just going on what other people have said, and apparently the cutscenes can be quite good. But this is the screenshot. Obviously, it's in the middle of a feisty moment between Devon and Lucas. I'm not sure who is who here. I presumably that Lucas is the one on the left, Devon is the one on the right, but I don't actually know which is which at the moment. So yes, moving on. This brings us to the rivalry system. So that was the third R. To start, selecting Devon and Lucas as a rival will reward with bonus respect, making them often attractive but never mandatory option when choosing with whom to pursue a bitter grudge or sporting rivalry. Not only that, whoever you have as rival, whether Lucas or Devon, any of the official drivers, those characters will now feature the invitational events between race weekends, where they represent bonus objectives and an opportunity to score some extra respect. Now, I'm not sure it's in here or not, but I think the official reserve drivers are actually getting to feature in those invitational events, which is quite interesting, which is quite nice to see as opposed to Gert Waldminder. So yes, that's nice to see. Perhaps most importantly of all, Lucas and Devon aren't locked to a specific team. They'll start in teams similar to your own in terms of performance, but beyond that they'll be able to pursue contracts with any team on the grid just as you can. In this way, they represent a new challenge. Drivers that can move throughout the team and challenge you in a race, the top ultimate accolade drivers champion. And all of this, of course, takes place in the track part of the 2019 championship. All the drivers, all the teams, all the tracks, new handling, blah de blah de blah de blah. You get the idea. So, and of course, you can jump straight into F1 without the new characters and their associated gameplay systems. I'm not going to do that because it makes more cinematic sense to have them in Formula 2 and to play through. It's only three scenarios anyway, which of course I will be picking the Renault Driver Academy should it be in the game. It should be in the game because it is actually quite an extensive driver academy. So yes, moving. Of course, this now brings us on to the back to the team select screen. Formula 2. So yes, which leads us on to Formula 2 itself. While Formula 2 serves as the feeder series introduction to Formula 2 F1 2019's career mode, there is much more to it than that. Not only will you be able to experience the feeder series in F1 2019 career mode, you'll also be able to race into the official F2 2018 championship via the championships mode. Here you'll be able to pick an official F2 driver and make your way through the event in the F2 calendar, aiming to be the F2 Drivers' World Champion. Beyond that, championships mode will also include other F2 themed championships for you to tackle. And here we have a screenshot from the championships mode. Obviously, you got the I hope this has been revised because some of the championships were a bit dull and a bit time consuming. Obviously, you've got the usual 2019 championship mode, which was the career mode in 2015, but we don't need to go there. Then we've got the 2018 championship mode, which will turn into 2019. Then we've got F2 World Tour, which is interesting because it's a 9-race series, so the number of race, which I don't know what that is. Whether it's an alternate championship, but yes, and then of course you got the classic and the legend something. So yes, we'll get a close look on the race on the launch day, I imagine, at them. Similarly, F2 will also be available in Grand Prix mode. We'll be able to take F2 cars track on all the official F2 tracks. I see what they've done there. Official F2 tracks, the official F2 tracks, the official F1 tracks, I should point out. But you can take them on any of the tracks available in F1 2019. So that's all 21 tracks plus the 4 short tracks, which they released back in 2017, I believe. So the USA, Britain, Japan, and what's the other one? I've forgotten the other one. But those 4 short tracks, which which seem to be forgotten about. Grand Prix mode offers you the opportunity to play with a full suite of gameplay options, and here where you'll be able to clearly see the level of fidelity to which Formula 2 has been realised throughout the game. That will be interesting if you could be able to apply the F2 settings to Formula 1 Grand Prix. Yes, that would be quite cool to see if you could be able to apply the F2 settings to F1 game, but we'll have to wait and see if the F1 cars, but we'll have to wait and see if that is actually a thing or not. And then of course we got a driver select, which I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the driver select menu. It's had a little bit of a revamp, and of course it's just literally pick your driver and then they turn around each other. So yes, F2. Moving on, F2 offers players a brand new driving experience and delivers a number of differences that make it distinct from Formula 1, including the weekend structure difference from Formula 1. It just has a single practice session as opposed to F1's 3 sessions. Secondly, instead of a single race, it has 2 races each weekend, a longer feature race for the mandatory pit stop and a shorter sprint race the following day. This is just going over the F2 regulations really. While the grid for the feature races codified by qualifying, the sprint race is formed by the previous race finishing order, with the top 8 drivers being reversed. Imagine if you could apply this to the Formula 1 cars. Just saying, it might be something interesting. It might be something that could be introduced to one of my mods. Let's say F1E mod or Final Fantasy. Should they do it? Obviously, my team is an F2 mod. Should modding, of course, be available? Hopefully, it is. Hopefully, it's an open modding thing, and they've not closed everything off for us. Yes, the point scoring is also different, with bonuses being awarded for pole position and qualifying for achieving the fast lap in each of the 2 races. And then obviously we've got the pit crews changes. Hopefully they're not just the generic pit crew, and they got the full liveries, broadcast elements, and of course including the official F2 commentators. We saw a little bit how the broadcast elements are a little bit different between the 2 different modes, because the F1 really hasn't really changed that much, whereas the time trial has actually shown some more of the outside world really. And of course you've got Alex Jack and David Valsecchi, official F2 commentators, which I've never actually watched anything. And of course F2 is available in time trial mode with all F2 leaderboards for you to battle over. But that's not all. The full 2019 Formula 2 roster, including new drivers such as Mick Schumacher, Callum Eilert, Tatiana Calderon, and of course the meme himself, Mr. Ranganathan. He will be in an F1 game. He is literally the worst driver I've ever seen. He should not be in Formula 2. Tatiana, to be fair, shouldn't really be in Formula 2 either. There are better drivers who deserve a lot more, should be in Formula 2, as opposed to these pay drivers. But unfortunately, that is the way the world is. You pay the money and you get a Formula 2 seat. Anyway, they will be added to the game for free update post-launch. This won't only add the drivers, but the teams and the cars as well. This isn't only the update will be added, we'll also bringing F2 content into multiplayer post-launch. I believe it's LAN and unranked only for multiplayer, but you can't play them to begin with when it launches. Because of course, multiplayer was broken last year when it launched, so I don't blame them, because clearly they want F2 to work on multiplayer, so there we go. Fan of Formula 2. I've never actually watched a Formula 2 race because it's all on Sky. So yes, we're going to move away from the blog now to a little screenshot from E3. I watched the Twitch stream, and I wish I hadn't, because it was a load of rubbish. Okay, it was just Lee Mather talking about all the stuff we already know. There wasn't anything that was released in there. But yes, this is just one of his screenshot. So you can see here, if you missed the video of the other day, I'll try and remember to include an eye thing in the top right hand corner. Basically, it shows the he showed off the game menus. So yes, continue career. So if you play career or not the most, then the career will be the thing that is on the top left. If you play multiplayer the most, then that will be that. So that top, this big square on the left will be the biggest thing. And of course all the other stuff we saw the other day. So I've already touched on this the other day, so I'm not going to go too much on about it. So the eye thing, that if you missed it from showing all the menus from the other day, link eye thing in the top right will take you to that video. So now we need to move on to Mr. Leaking Anonymous, and I have to apologise to you guys because I missed a tweet of his from May the 18th, which was showing some of the which showed two videos of the rivalries about the two rivals. Now, I should explain something. That's totally my fault. My Twitter notifications weren't working properly. I've since changed the settings, so this won't happen again. Anything that Mr. Leaking Anonymous is, I think, though, judging by what I'm going to read on screen now, basically, if you weren't aware, I revealed Mr. Leaking Anonymous, came across him back in April, which a video again will be another one linked into the top right of the corner, so go and check it out because I still got his content there. It hasn't been copyrighted strike yet, so if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend you go and see it there, because all his content on Twitter has been copyrighted, presumably by Codemasters, and I can't see why they would do that unless it was real. If it was people were saying at the time, it's a cool mock-up, but it's not real. I was 50-50, I've got to be honest, I was 50-50 at the time. But the entire stuff that he's released has all been copyright striked from Twitter. You can't view anything at all. So yes, I do really feel for Mr. Leaking Anonymous, but this content that he released on April the 22nd, which was quite cool. I got not really why. I don't get why Codemasters wouldn't. If this was fake, why would it be copyright striked? I don't know. I don't think you can copyright strike. You can't copyright strike your own work. So somebody at Codemasters has seen this and raised it with Twitter, and they copyright striked it. Now, if that video that I've done hasn't been copyright striked yet by Codemasters, presumably they probably, because I'm a smaller YouTuber and they haven't seen it. If the original video gets copyright strike, I will appeal that copyright strike because it's an analytical content on. I will argue on analytical grounds, basically, because I'm providing analysis on that. But so far they haven't got that. But clearly, why would Codemasters copyright strike this unless it wasn't real? So yes, I'm convinced, 100% now, convinced everything that is there. Maybe, look, it might not be. If it's not in the F1 2019, it's something that Codemasters got in development for F1 2020. If you think that F1 2019's been under development for 2 years, F1 2020 is probably also in development at this time, which of course we will be doing F1 2020 game ideas for Codemasters to steal for F1 2020 or F1 2021. Once the full game is released. So yes, I really feel for that. So yes, Mr. Leak and Anonymous, if you're watching, whoever you are, thank you for the content you put on Twitter. We're all behind you. Now, 100%. And this example that I missed is, although it's only a skin, it's some of the example of the rivalry on May the 18th, which, again, apologies for me missing it. June the 14th, of course, has now been revealed in the trailer, which I showed you earlier. So yes, this is not a fake. This is a real Codemaster source. So go and check him out on Twitter. Link to this tweet is in the comments below, providing it doesn't get copyright striked for the images below. So yes, go and give him a follow on Twitter. They definitely deserve it. So yes, moving on from that now to Codemasters have also released a list of compatible controllers and wheels that will work with F1 2019, which of course, go and check that. I'm not going to go through everything, but this is the full list of PC, Xbox, PS4 players can also go and check them out. Not going to go through everything, but a couple of things that I will pick out. Obviously, the Xbox One controller, which is the one that I use. I have a separate controller for PC, which is the one that I'll be using. Interesting though, the old pad that I've got, the Xbox 360 pad for Windows. Goodness grief, it's I've still actually got it. That was the pad that I originally had back in F1. When was it? It was 20. I've had it since about 2016. It still works. It's just the fact that it's got a lead rather than being a wireless thing. So yes, that's still works. Track IR. I don't think that was in previous games. Track IR. If you're not familiar with Track IR is basically the thing that you can. It's basically you put it on you, and then you have a tracker on the top of your monitor, and basically it tracks your vision. A bit like if you ever used Tobii Eye Tracker. Both of them are now compatible with the game. Loads of Thrustmasters and Logitech one. Sim Experience, AccuForce, I'm not sure what that is, and then the usual stuff. Keyboard, of course. Keyboard is a thing, and Fanatec as well. All the official stuff as well. So yes, PS4 and Xbox is a smaller list, but go and check them out if you want to go and check them out for what you want to. If your stuff at PS4 or Xbox, the link to the list is in the comments below. Now, Codemaster also lists a FAQ blog, and one of the questions was asked: does F1 2019 have a customizable HUD? Which I don't think anybody was asking, but nevertheless, it's in their FAQ. If you're playing on PC, yes, you'll be able to customize the HUD. We'll be revealing more about this soon. I'm not sure what this customizable HUD will look like, but I don't know whether it's just going to be able to move stuff about on the HUD or what. We'll have to wait and see what example it is. And we're going to move on now to the final bit of the video. I know I've ranted on for about half an hour now, but there has been a lot to get through. And this is from Tommy T199 on Twitter. And he's revealed a video of some of the footage from theatre mode, which should be playing on the screen now, which is only a 6-second clip. I'll play it for you twice, just so you can get a real it. Please feel free to go back and watch it again. But yes, it's only a little snippet, 6 seconds, but it's interesting to see that it looks like it's taking pit. It's not really any overtakes. It's more like hopefully it's going to be following other people as opposed to the player, which of course is the biggest issue with YouTubers, is the fact we do miss stuff that actually happens out on track. It'd be nice to be able to get all the overtakes the AI are doing in theatre mode. So yes, that's going to round off this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, to see more F1 2019 game news. Of course, the game comes out in just 10 days time for Legends Edition, and 13 if you're on the other one, the Anniversary Edition. Until the next video, I'll see you time. Take care, thank you so much, enjoy your day, and goodbye.